Hi, I'm Heather. We're the Radical Pleasurist. And I've been talking a lot lately about a year to radical change. However, what I want to make crystal clear is I didn't just do it once. I have actually experienced a year of radical change repeatedly throughout my life, and I've done it a variety of ways. And what I'm going to share in this video is the 3 steps that I believe is what really led to my biggest success. I'm going to tell you exactly how I did it. So this is a natural time of year to kind of reflect on the past year and think about what you might want to, bring about in the coming year. And frequently, people are asking themselves, like, how am I actually going to get there? How can I make the changes that I want to make? I'll tell you. So, step 1, slow the fuck down. Now that may surprise you. You may think, oh, but I've been a couch potato all year. I want to change really quickly, so I'm going to go to the gym every single month, every single day in January. Okay, like that might work for some people, but I don't think it works for most. What happens for most people is they might set a plan like that and then they end up hurting themselves or just completely burning out, and then they just throw their hands up and just say, fuck it, I'm not going to do anything at all. It's not an all or nothing situation. That's one thing. But really, I'm serious about this. Slow the fuck down. So one of the main keys to a year to radical change is using the entire year. You do not front load it. You do not get a big jump on it at the beginning of the year. Actually, I would encourage that you do maybe set a slightly lower goal for yourself at the beginning of the year, because that will help you build the foundation for truly sustainable change. And if you really want to be able to measure your change, which I'd encourage, I love being able to measure data, aim for a 1 to 10% improvement month over month. 10% is the absolute maximum improvement. If you have, if there's some area that you really want to put some attention into and you find that you've actually improved by 40 or 50%, really check in and did you slow the fuck down? Or was that done through grinding and willpower and force? So I'm going to invite you to really think about it. Use the whole year, because if you improve 1 to 10% in some key areas of your life month over to month, I'm telling you, at the end of the year, you're going to look back and go, wow, look what I did. Let's see. Yeah, okay, so I said all of that. Perfect. Okay, number 2. So number 1, slow the fuck down. 2, take really good notes. So what that means is pick the couple of things in your life that you really want to shift. If you need a complete life overhaul and you're like, I've got to change everything, well, that's pretty intense, and yes, it can be done, but most people don't need to completely overhaul their entire life. There might just be a few areas they'd like to improve upon. So sit your ass down. Set a timer for 15 minutes. This is not a big production. This is just sit down and pick the top things that you'd really like to improve upon in your life over the next year. Maybe it's, you'd like to exercise with more regularity because you'd like to feel more energetic and have improved health. Maybe you'd like to meditate with more regularity. Maybe you'd like to spend more time with your family. I don't know what your jam is, what specifically is primarily important to you, but pick a couple of them and write down what those items are, and then what's your current relationship with them. How often are you engaging in this activity that you'd like to do more often? Pick some measurable item, some way to measure that item, and write it down. And then really, this is where I really want you to spend most of your time is, what does it feel like for you? What does your experience feel like in that particular area of your life? And be microscopically honest with yourself. This is for you alone. No one else ever needs to see these notes. This is for you alone. You can be completely honest about where you are right now in your life in relationship to this particular area that you'd like to improve upon. All right, again, remember, don't make a big fucking production out of it. 15 minutes, sit your ass down. And at the end of January, you're gonna sit your ass down again, set that timer again for 15 minutes, and review your notes from the month before, and be really, really honest with yourself. Did you improve at least 1% or maybe 5% in any of those areas? Even the smallest progress is worthy of celebration, celebrate. Get up and dance. Like, hell yeah, thank you, you did that, good job. Like, whatever way whatever celebration looks like for you, do it. Small incremental progress is very worthy of celebration. It's not just the big wins that deserve to be celebrated. It's the small daily incremental progress as well. Yeah, and then each month you just sit your ass down for those 15 minutes, review your notes, do that month over month. Number 3, understand that you cannot create a new life doing everything exactly the same as you are right now. I'm pretty sure we can all agree that doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results is insanity. Are you really insane? I'm willing to bet you're not insane. So please stop acting that way. Please stop doing the same thing over and over and expecting different results. You need to do something differently to get different results. And I understand doing something new or different can be uncomfortable. Yep. Change is a challenge. Totally agree. Doesn't mean it's to be avoided. It can actually even be quite painful sometimes. Doesn't mean it's to be avoided. So, okay, so here's some key. This is exactly what you do. Like when a familiar experience starts to happen, and I'll give you the example of, say, your boss is walking up and they've got that look on their face, and you know when they've got that look on their face that they're about to hand you a shit sandwich. It never goes well when they've got that look on their face. So what can you do right in this moment as you see them coming? You can do something very slightly differently than maybe you would have in the past. What could that be? One option, you see them coming, put your feet on the ground, sit up a little bit straighter, and take a nice deep breath right that moment. And if they're not there yet, or maybe they've started talking and you still have a few moments, breathe deeply again. Really feel your ribs expanding and contracting. And don't worry, you'll still be able to hear them. You'll be fully engaged in what's going on. You might even notice that after a couple of deep breaths, you can actually hear more clearly. It's possible you'll even surprise yourself with what comes out of your mouth and how relaxed you actually feel while you're speaking. So that's one way you can do something totally different. Or slightly different in the moment. So you just do that. Every time you notice you're having a familiar experience, ask yourself if it's possible to do something very slightly differently than you would have in the past. And remember, it doesn't have to be a big thing. It can be very small. You're striving here for 1 to 5% improvement at the beginning of the year, and as the year progresses, maybe you're striving for 10% improvement. That's it. Really small amount. And then just notice what you're doing, do something slightly different. Notice what you're doing, do something slightly different. Notice what you're doing, do something slightly different. At the end of the month, check your notes. Guess what? I can pretty much guarantee you, if you really do this, things will start changing actually a lot more quickly than you could possibly imagine. So, and at the end of the year, you'd look back, and I'm pretty confident you're gonna look back at your notes and you're gonna go, that was a year of radical change. I'd really look forward to hearing how that progresses for you. Please share with me. So I did quite a few years like this on my own, and I did make significant, measurable, impressive amounts of change. But I definitely noticed that things accelerated to a whole new level when I started investing in myself by working with coaches and investing in courses that I actually completed. That's key. But there's something about working with someone else who has been there before, or has a level of skill and a level of knowledge that I haven't attained yet, and they can walk alongside me and they noticed areas that I was improving that I didn't actually notice for myself. They held me accountable to commitments that I'd made to myself, because that's a big key too. Like, so often we break the commitments to ourselves, and that's the first place that goes really wrong. So they would catch me in that, there would be patterns that I hadn't become aware of yet that the coach could, potentially notice and call out. So that, because I would have figured it out eventually on my own, but why not do it so much more quickly and easily by working with somebody who really knows what they're doing. So if you'd like to talk about what options are available with Radical Pleasurists, please schedule a time to talk with me. My calendar will be posted below. And again, I'd really love to hear like whether or not you plan to do this, what your thoughts are about the process, and I look forward to hearing a whole lot of year of radical change stories by the middle or end of 2020. I'm willing to bet there will be some pretty freaking impressive stories to be shared. So that's it. It's really simple. Slow the fuck down. Take really good notes. Be completely honest with yourself about it. Do something differently. Hope you have a radically pleasurable day. I know I will.